You're listening to the KYLO Show, and I'm your host, Danny Silk.
And I'm Brittney Serpell. The KYLO Show is a podcast where we talk about how to keep your love on no matter what, and why whole healthy families are going to save the world. And it starts right now. Hello and welcome to the KYLO Show. We are excited to be here, and we're excited about having lots of good questions.
We're live. It's like we're answering questions. And it's real time right now.
Mm-hmm. And we are so grateful for your questions. So join us as we jump into some fun ones right now.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
How are you doing today, Jessica?
I'm doing okay. It's great to meet you guys.
Great. Thanks for calling in and asking us a question.
Yeah.
What is your question?
Absolutely. So I have 4 children. My oldest is 27 and from my first marriage. And then I have 3 that are in a row. So 14, 13, and 12. We started KYLO when it came out 10, 11 years ago. And so we just started owning it, putting that out in our family. However, 3 years ago, my oldest chose to estrange herself from our family. And so that's been happening for years. And my question is really twofold. One, I want to make sure I help her brothers and sister through this time without receiving rejection or picking up offenses. And then 2, just how do you manage group family dynamics when we do see each other? So any advice on just estrangement in general?
Yeah. Ouch. Ouch.
Yeah.
Such a hard experience for a parent when the child, for whatever reason, adult child, for whatever reason, decides to change the whole plan. Like, oh gosh, this was not in my anticipation of family life. Was somehow I became a bad guy, and I don't even know what happened. And it's I'm sure it's been going on forever, but currently social media has just made it a absolute forest fire out there.
It's just socially acceptable, and we should all jump on.
Yeah, it's almost like if somebody doesn't totally agree with you, you can't have a relationship with them. Like, wow, what in the world is happening? And so we, as parents on the receiving end of something like that, it's just really important that we practice keeping our love on, which means, in essence, I don't get offended. I don't reject. I do feel disconnected though, and I say that. I say I feel disconnected from you, and then they say, "Well, the reason you feel disconnected is because the way you vote, or the way you think, or the way you whatever." You're like, okay, well, that I don't feel disconnected from you for that reason. I feel disconnected because I feel rejected, and I feel judged, and I feel punished. That's why I feel disconnected from you. I'm not judging you. You just brought it up. You just told me the reasons why you're judging me, and it hurts. So I get drilled into talking to you about me. I don't try to talk to you about you, because that's what you're doing to me. You're telling me, because of the way I vote, the way that I perceive God, the way that what's important to me, that I'm being judged. So I don't say you're judging me. I say I feel judged. I don't say you're rejecting me. I say I feel rejected. I don't say that you're trying to push me away. I say I feel disconnected. So I'm going to tell you about my experience of you and stay away from you. I'll just say me. And then when you tell me about me, I say, okay, tell me about you. And so that sounds like it hurts you. I'm so sorry. I'm never trying to hurt you. I'm a I believe in God. I'm a Christian. I go to church. I'm not doing that to you. I'm sorry that you're experiencing that as something personal. It's something personal for me. It has nothing to do with you. So I don't understand how I'm hurting you by practicing my life. Well, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. You should. Okay. Tell me about you, because you don't get to tell me how to live my life any more than I get to tell you how to live your life. So what we're doing right here is we're trying to understand each other instead of entering another destructive power struggle. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Unfortunately, she's not even speaking with us right now. So there's not even dialogue happening.
Right.
And so that's where I want to make sure her siblings are equipped.
Right. And so you would teach your siblings how to do that, what we just did right
Yeah.
there. You would teach the siblings how to do that so that if they do not just encounter her, but other judgmental, punishing people, because there's a whole generation of folks out there that have learned kind of a mob rule mentality. If we collect with the mob, we're safe. Right. And then the mob's job is to intimidate and dominate every opposing thought. So there's no actual dialogue going on or respectful discourse or exchange. It's just all about intimidation, domination that they accuse you of doing. Like they say, oh, you are a Nazi, you're a fascist. Like, wait. The way you're treating everybody I know is fascist. So stop, please stop. And they're like, no. So you just say, that hurts. That scares me. And you tell them about you, but you teach your children inside the home how to do this with each other and to get out of the mob rule mentality as much as possible. Then when they experience it, they know what to do.
Yeah, that's good. That's powerful for sure.
And then when you're at family gatherings and your daughter shows up and she's doing the, I'm so offended, I can't even look at you thing. You walk right up to her and say, I love you so much. I'm so happy to see you. And she, oh, yeah. Oh, well, yeah. She won't even know what to do. But you just be yourself. You're a loving mother. You're a loving mother, and her stepfather is a loving stepfather, and the kids are all loving. And so everybody just comes at her with, we love you and miss you. We love you and miss you. Mm-hmm. We're so excited to see you. And she's like, and you're like, yeah, just go ahead. You do you, but we'll do us no matter what you do.
That's good. That's really, because I think I've tried really hard to respect her boundaries, but haven't been forceful enough with my love. You do know what I mean? Like just saying, hey,
sure. Yeah. If
I
she
still
takes
love
off,
you,
yeah. If she takes off running, don't chase her. Right. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
But if you're in a house together or somebody's front yard or something and you see her, you definitely want to walk over and say, I love you so much. I miss you. Mm-hmm. Gosh, it's great to see you. Because that's you. Yeah. So you get to be you around her. Now, if she gets all twisted up and walks away, then you go, okay, ouch, that hurts. But I still love her and I still want to be connected to her. But obviously she's sorting it out.
And I think how you lead your younger kids in not taking up offense is that you don't take up offense of her in her offense. So your kids will get offended and know how to foster offense if that's something that you model for them.
Yep, that's great.
So if you talk about, you're right, we miss Sissy. I don't know why she's not hanging out with us. You know what? Next time you see her, you should tell her how much you miss her. I mean, you lead with compassion, you lead with empathy, you lead with truth of who you are, which is that kind, nurturing mother. And they see that. And that's what they lead with. It's like, man, there's a hole where we're missing her. And so that's what they bring along with all these other tools. But if you pick up the offense and you talk about her in a negative light because you're hurt and make that offense something that you wear, then of course they're going to model that. So if you don't want them to have offense against her, then you can't have offense against her.
Yeah. Right. That's good. Thank you.
So Jessica, I think this is a really great question. I just had a conversation with someone, another leader that I'm friends with, and she's walking through this with her 3 sons. And we were talking about different books that she's reading, and I haven't read any. We were actually just discussing this in the car. I'm like, I think I'm going to read this book that she suggested, because I won't suggest it yet because I haven't read it, but I'll let you know if I like it. But I think it's a real thing that adult parents are navigating more than ever before. And your heart of compassion and leading with love is probably going to be that supernatural power that you want to tap into, rather than being famous for something you hate or disagree with.
That's
So
great.
thank you for being vulnerable enough to share. I think your question is going to help a lot of other moms out there and families navigate, how do I do this well, especially when you've got other ones in the home.
Yeah. I appreciate both you guys. Thank you so very much.
Awesome.
Thank you so much
you,
for coming on the
Jessica.
show.
God bless you.
Real question of today's time, man.
Epidemic.
It is everywhere. So many of the coaching calls that Ben and I have are around adult parents going, I don't know what to do with my kid. I don't know what happened. I don't know how to stay connected. I don't even know where to start because they won't talk to me.
They won't talk to me, and every time they do talk to me, we end up in an argument. Mm-hmm. We end up back in that power struggle. My favorite testimony coming out of KYLO University right now is I've been welcomed back into my adult children's family, and I have access to my grandchildren again.
Yeah.
I love hearing that. And it's because so much changes inside the parent of adults that they just didn't realize they didn't adjust. You know, one of the things I have to adjust is you get to be a powerful, thinking, decision-making, disagreeing human around me, and I have to just keep my love on and not try to correct you or change you or parent you. Mm-hmm. Such a challenge to not parent your adult children.
We were in Taiwan and we were leading a Q&A panel, and every question was, how do I control my kid? How do I control my kid? How do I control my kid? I was sitting with Seth and Ben, and Seth leans over. He goes, every single question is about controlling somebody. And he's like, you know, he does his classic, wow, and I love it. But it's true. It's just, this is what we are craving, is I want to control you because I'm scared.
Yeah,
you're walking away from me. I don't know what to do.
I love you. I want the best for you. How can, you know, but God is spirit, and where the spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. Not dominating, punishing, control. And that is like step one of creating a kingdom family, is that you've got to know how, to create a safe, free place where people can show up, and then B, learn how to control yourself in that experience.
You normally say it a little bit more exciting than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, control your freaking self. You control freaks, control your freaking self. Yes.
I mean, this is true. So in Jessica's quest of, you know, how do I keep my love on? How do I stay present? I watching her face as you were answering that question, you talking about be yourself. Don't shy away from being who you are, who you were created to be, who you are as a mother. Don't shy away from that in an attempt to respect boundaries and this and that, which who she is a loving, compassionate mom.
Totally.
But she's like turning that off because she's afraid to move.
Well, you're trying not to be who you're accused of being.
Yeah.
And you forget who you are. You know, and so when you come at me with, you are trying to control me, and you're judging, and you're like, and you just kind of trying to figure out how to not be like that. Well, you aren't like that if you adjust yourself. So now some people are, okay, so I'm not talking to you, but you know, but
they're probably not listening.
Yeah. But the loving parent that is scared and hurt, that's probably who you're not showing. You're not showing that you're You're not angry, you're scared.
Yeah.
You're not angry, you're hurt.
Mhm.
You're not angry, you feel powerless.
Mhm.
And so that presentation of overpowering, overbearing, in control, that's the opposite of what you feel or of what you're experiencing. But that's what your kid is experiencing from you. So they are pointing at you're angry when really you got to move over and say, okay, here's the truth.
Mhm.
I'm scared.
Yeah. And staying away from being powerless, staying and being powerful, continuing to show up in that relationship. I mean, I watch too many parents take up their child's offense at them being offended,
Mhm.
and then it just gets really messy.
Yep.
So got to stay away from all that. But it was a really great question. I thought
Yeah,
it was a really great
that's
question.
a very relevant.
Super helpful. And I'm
Yeah.
hoping and praying that it just shed some light on how to help parents be a bit more powerful
Mhm.
in that, which is
Yeah.
great. We are going to talk about our wonderful sponsors, though, because we don't want to miss out on an opportunity to tell you about how much we are enjoying this coffee.
Yes.
We have we always have something in here to help us do a great job for this show. I just want you to know that in here is liquid gold, and it makes my heart happy. It makes your heart really happy. I've never seen you so excited about coffee at home
I know.
like you are.
I know.
This
Well,
coffee.
this one too. We have it here. I have to wait for this to come up at home. We have to run out of the other stuff before we actually get to the good coffee. For whatever
It's still
reason,
all good stuff
This-
that comes from the same company. We just have different tastes as far as the darkness of roast.
right. So this is the espresso blend.
I feel like
love it. I love
we're
it. I
keeping
love
a
it.
secret of who the sponsor is, which we should not, since they're sponsoring the KYLO Show.
Yeah.
It is Pro Life Coffee Roasters.
Yes.
That is our supplier of our liquid gold that makes the show so much fun for you to enjoy because we are caffeinated and it's a good time.
It is.
But they are not only do they have good coffee that adjusts to the roast difference in our household because
Yeah.
we've got extremely dark. I mean, espresso roast is what we're drinking right
I'm such
now.
an extremist.
You are
I
an
am.
extremist. This is not new. And we've got more of a medium blend for the rest of the household.
Mhm.
But they are on mission with what we're doing,
Yeah.
which why wouldn't you support them if they're on mission for whole healthy families? They are giving to pro-life organizations and to whole healthy family organizations. They are really giving 20% of what comes in to them. They are giving away to help with the movement of whole healthy families are going to save the world.
Love a good partner.
I love good coffee.
Yep.
Because it usually is around good conversations,
Yep.
which is what we do here at the KYLO Show. And I love partnering with somebody that loves what we love.
And these guys are doing it right too, right? They are on the ground with the growers and the whole culture there. They've been doing this for 20 years in Ethiopia, just going to the best places in the world. I saw their advertisement was like the Napa Valley of wine. We are there in Ethiopia for coffee. I'm like, oh, okay.
That sounds. I like Napa Valley, so I like where you're going.
Yeah.
Coffee
well, I
roasters,
mean,
pro-life coffee
they
roasters.
communicated clearly with me.
It's true.
So good.
So if you're interested in joining us in a great cup of coffee, you're going to go to prolifecoffeeroasters.com/KYLO, and you also get a discount. So you're going to support us, support other pro-life organizations, and you're going to enjoy your coffee. I don't have any doubts there. So we're going to jump into our next question, though, because we've got more to come. So let's do this together. Hi, Jason. How are you?
Hi, Brittney. I'm doing well.
Well, thanks so much for joining us on the KYLO Show. We appreciate it.
Yeah, so happy to be here. I've been watching your content for when Danny said this is episode 152, that's me. That was me.
Good to know. We'll have to go back and see if it was a good one. I'm sure it was. Well, you got a question for us, though, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah,
So why don't you dive in and we'll do our best to help you.
100%. So my question is, me and my girlfriend, we've been dating for almost 2.5 years now. So we're both 21 years old. when we have a needs exchange conversation, I often experience her shutting down when I tell her how I feel and what I need. I usually wait for us to feel connected before we have this needs conversation, but I feel frustrated because we're not connected very often right now. And we do feel, and when we do feel close and connected, the conversation often ends with her apologizing and my need is still unmet. So I feel extremely hopeless when we end the conversation without a plan. So do you have any advice on how I can communicate or approach this situation any differently?
Great question. The needs conversation is always a fun
It's
one.
an eyeball touching contest.
Mhm,
Yes.
mhm.
Yeah. I mean, how can I touch your eyeball and not hurt you? And how can I let you touch my eyeball and not be scared of you?
Mm,
Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah. It's
mhm.
super sensitive for sure. Jason, could you give me an example of how you communicate what it is that you need?
So an example is a previous conversation we had, as I said, I feel hurt. Actually, I wrote it down. Let me quickly get it
This guy's come prepared.
because I have my monitor with my question on there as well, so I can
Just kind of a general. I'm trying to get a general sense of how she would experience you sharing your needs.
here's I got it. Yeah. So I said this was regarding her disengaging in conversation. So I wrote down, I love you. I want to be with you. And every time you do that, I have to protect myself. And that's not great. And that's not a future that we want to live in. It feels like you want to get your needs met through withdrawal. The message that I'm getting is that you don't care about me and that you would rather choose disconnection than be vulnerable with me.
Okay, so that's what I suspected was happening. And that is you're telling her all about her.
Right.
You're not telling her about you because it would take way less time. You could say, ouch.
Yeah.
Instead of, let me see if I can convince you that you're doing something. And then when she says, I'm not doing that, you go, oh, yes, you are. Here, I have proof. I have pictures. I've took a video of you the last time you did it. Watch. See? Now, am I right or am I right? And she says, well, that's not what I was doing. She said, yes, absolutely. That's what you were doing. Admit it. Come on, admit it. And then we get done with that conversation. We can't figure out why we don't feel connected. See, what you want to back up and you want to say, okay, when she's on her phone or when she is, you don't feel heard, then you say, I feel a feeling right here. There's a feeling that I'm feeling when I watch you be on your phone or not listening to me. What would you describe the feeling? You're having a feeling. What is the feeling?
Right. I would say I feel scared.
Yeah, I feel scared. I feel scared when you do that. She says, when I do what? Well, I'm talking and you're on your phone. And then you grab a pair of socks and you shove them in your mouth and you don't say another word. Because if you do, you're going to start telling her about her. I think you're doing that to protect yourself. I think you're afraid of intimacy. I think you is not telling her about you. It's telling her about her, which feels like judgment. Okay. So you want to get out of judge, you want to get out of convince, you want to get out of agreement, and you want to get into, do you see me? Do you understand me? I feel hurt. I feel scared. I feel powerless. And then grab that pair of socks and shove them in your mouth so you don't keep talking. Because if you're if you're having a needs exchange and it takes more than 5 or 6 minutes, you're doing it wrong. Okay? So she needs to be able to see you, and you need to be able to see her. And then the plan going forward is hiding in, we understand each other. I'm doing something that's hurting you. I didn't know I was hurting you. I'm sorry. And I'm doing something that is hurting her or scaring her. I didn't know. And I'm sorry for that. And this just takes a few minutes. But when we blow these into hour-long conversations, we are doing it so wrong.
Yeah, because that's what usually happens.
Yeah, for
Because,
sure.
yeah, I'm like, why is this so long? I was just scared, and now it's even worse. What?
Yeah. And then we say we can't communicate. Like, no, we communicate for way too long, way horrible. Yeah, we communicated.
Yeah.
we communicated for a very long time, terribly. So we're communicating. We're just doing it as ugly as we can. So if you just back it up and we make a commitment, I tell you about me and you listen, and then you tell me about you and I listen, and that's it. And it's and sometimes we get a little lost in, well, I feel like you're trying to, and here I go, I'm telling you about you again.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, I feel hurt when you keep bringing up that mistake that I made a while back. And then grab a pair of
Yeah, I
socks.
feel punished.
Yeah, I feel punished. And so, and then grab a pair of socks, shove them in your mouth.
Yeah.
Okay. You got, it takes about 30 seconds really to say, I feel a feeling when this happens.
Mm-hmm.
And really what I need to feel going forward is this feeling.
Right. Yeah, I think like when usually sometimes I try and keep it as short, but I'll make that a priority from now on. Is that I realize she takes a lot longer than I do to think of a response, rather.
Mm-hmm.
But usually it starts going to, she just like zones out a little bit.
Yeah, especially if you're going on and 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 on.
Right.
That's just,
Gotta get
it's
that
just,
socks.
yeah, you got to get that pair of socks. Just walk up, pair of socks in your hands. Just walk up.
Yeah,
Hey,
got it.
can we talk? And
Yeah. I got 2 pairs of socks.
One for you,
one for you. No, that's not the problem. The problem is
No,
her shutting up. The problem is her talking, right? Yeah, because here's the other side of it. You are high energy influencer. You got a million ideas a second, and she, when emotions start to hit her, she locks up. She's overwhelmed. She's not really sure what's going on with her. So she'll walk away from a conversation and she'll be going, oh, I should have said this and I should have said that. And oh, now I know what I think and now I know what I feel. But in the moment, she gets flooded with adrenaline and she just freezes up. So you don't want to trigger the adrenaline by saying, hey, can we have a conversation? Because she's like, oh, no. Oh, here we go again. Oh, no. Here he goes.
Yeah.
He's going to just
She's hiding.
overwhelm me with words for an hour. And there's no door in this room. I can't get out of it. So you don't want her trapped in your conversation room. You want her to feel safe. You want her to, and you want to be able to just say, I felt hurt yesterday by the way that conversation ended. And I feel disconnected and I'd love to feel connected again. And then shove your socks in your mouth right there. See that? Did that take 30 seconds? That didn't even take 30 seconds.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Jason, is this something that you grew up with, or is it pretty brand new?
What this scenario happening, or just KYLO?
Just KYLO, like in general.
Yo, no, it's actually discovered KYLO, what, like 3 years ago, I believe,
Sure.
from a church program.
Awesome. I think what I'm hearing is that you're still new in the practice of it, and he's really great at 30 seconds because he wrote the book literally on it. So
I should call the next title 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds is KYLO in 30
do.
seconds. It's the new devotional. So, I hear your heart and value for doing this really well. And I think that's amazing, especially at 21 years old. And, this is how we create whole and healthy marriages moving forward is people that both want to do this well. The goal for you that I would send you away with is practice what he's talking about. Remembering key points. I'm talking about myself. So stay away from the yous in the conversation. Look at your text before you send it. How many yous should I have in there? Not that many. I need to take all those out. So, I know majority of your conversations are probably start initiating in text. Maybe you later on have to have a face-to-face. But reflect on those texts. Like, what am I doing right there? What am I bringing that? Am I talking about me? And then, putting a sock in it. Great analogy.
Sock emoji.
Yeah, put a sock emoji in there.
Emoji, yeah.
Maybe that could be your cue back and forth. You could have a playful conversation about this.
I got to end with a sock.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And the other places, she does sound different than you. And so her place of processing, maybe you give space for, hey, do you want to talk about this later and let me know if you need anything from me? Because she wants to be able to tell you her needs too. But if you have so many, or if you are so intense, she's probably not going to tell you hers, which means you're not going to grow in intimacy in your relationship. She's going to feel happened to, and you're never going to see her full heart, which that's not what you want. You want to be the safest place for her heart to be completely exposed, which means she's got to be able to have a need and you hear it and you protect it and you value it. And this is something you're both practicing. So I would just encourage you, you sound like you're on a great road. Maybe reread Keep Your Love On, highlight those iMessages. Those are, there it is, right? Thank you. Jason's also
actually
our sponsor.
reading Culture of Honors.
This is another really great
I got another book for you.
You wanted to plug it, the next one?
Yeah. Jason, if you will send Ashley your mailing address, I'm going to send you a signed copy of my new book called The Way of the Dragon Slayer. It's a book written for
I wish you could see his face right
for
now.
men. This book is for you, buddy. I'm telling you what. And then get on the Dragon Slayer podcast and listen to us talk it up, because there's just so much going on in this brotherhood community, man. You just want to get on the train.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, haven't missed an episode of the Dragon Slayers. I was like, oh, that's so cool, Danny. Oh, awesome.
Good.
It's great. Well, Jason, again, I think you're on a great path. Keep it up, because we need young men that are willing to become great men, and you are on a journey to that. And so I would just keep reading those books, keep asking good questions, and thank you so much for being willing to come on the KYLO Show. And I pray that all your other fellow young men would be as courageous as you and lean into leading in healthy relationships. Because I know a lot of single ladies out there, and we need more. We need more fellows. Huh, Ashley?
Come on.
Yep. But you're taken. I get that. I know. It's not you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks so much for having us or being with us.
So I just wanted to end with one last thing, is that I have a few of my men groups inside of university. We have like a change room. The long story short, our motto is evil prevails when good men do nothing.
Yep, for sure.
So that's why we need to do something.
Yeah,
exactly. Awesome. Jason, great to meet you. Thank you so much for your question, buddy. God bless you, man.
Hey, bye, Brittney.
Bye. I really do wish our viewers could see his face.
I know. He was so
pure. It was this. And we was just stuck here for like a minute. And then he was this. And then, I mean, there's no words. He just was, he was frozen in pure excitement of a signed copy from Danny Silk.
Yeah. He's doing a good job.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm just going to say it. All of our young men out there, you know, Jason doesn't have it all figured out, but he is giving a beautiful effort of how do I do this well?
Yeah.
And he's willing to take correction because, I mean, that's what you gave him. You gave him correction.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. It was well received. There, I mean, as far as I could see, he didn't look like a prideful, arrogant young man that wasn't going to take it.
Or a puppy that been kicked down the stairs or nothing.
He wasn't a wimp.
Yeah.
He was, okay, I want to do this well. That's what we need. The willingness to steward this well and take correction and go, all right, oh, this is going to make me better.
Yeah. And you got to love that, the Bible says that a fool hates correction.
Yeah.
Which, the conversely, a wise man loves it. And so the wise man is going to benefit from adjusting. Like I was 2 degrees off. I need to adjust because I'm aiming for that target. And that's wisdom. The collection and characteristic of gathering wisdom comes from loving learning, loving instruction, loving correction. And it's not easy. It's not easy to be corrected. And if you think it is, ask your spouse if you're good at it. Am I good at adjusting to your input in my life? Because I like to think I'm a wise person. No, you hate it when I say you should change this or that.
Mm-hmm. Which is, I mean, the way of the Dragon Slayer is your call to men like never before. And
I waited forever to do this.
You did wait. Oh, you waited a while. I'm going to wait a while for any women's movement. How about that?
Yeah. Well, I had to get all sagey. I had to get all like sagey and, I mean, everything's going sagey.
Okay, great. Then I got lots of time because there's not too much sagey going on here. Yeah. I again, great question from Jason. I think his hunger, is leading him to.
I wonder if he likes coffee.
What?
I wonder if he likes coffee. We should tell him about.
You could send him some coffee from our sponsors.
We should tell him about pro-life coffee roasters.
But it's refreshing to see a young man willing to take correction and willing to ask questions as far as like, I want to do this relationship well and it's not going well. How do I make it well? And even listening, his heart to protect her, to steward this relationship. And, when I told him like, you got to be the safest place possible. He's like, you could see, yes, that's what I want. That's what I'm aiming for. And I'm not doing it. So how do I adjust? And again, when you said it should take 30 seconds,
yeah.
I wish you could see it because he was so expressive and it was really fun to watch. But he had lots of light bulbs. So I guess it's fitting that your book cover has these light bulbs all over the place because that's what this boy was lighting up with.
Yeah.
And a pair of socks. So if you get socks in the mail from this kid, then we know why.
Yeah. Well, it's an adjustment, and it's beautiful to watch a young man handle it like that. Just like, wow, this is going to help me so much. I actually want to be Christ-like in this relationship with this girl.
Yeah. And that is, that's what we need. I mean, we have majority of our listeners are women. And I'm so grateful that there's a rise of men like never before. Cause I think it's time. And that's how we chase after this very sign behind my head right here is whole healthy families are going to save the world is that we have both parties showing up wholeheartedly, serving Christ, loving like Christ, and leading in their homes like Christ. And we all have very different roles to play. And when we both contribute, we get to create whole and healthy families.
It's true.
It's powerful. So,
and young men and young women are the key. They really are. For whatever reason, we let generations of people just disintegrate covenant and quality of experience together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's time we get it right.
Yep. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Well, thank you for our questions of both Jason and Jessica. There's two JJs there.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys for helping us and just putting out great questions and doing your part in this. We're so grateful, and we are loving doing the live version of the KYLO Show. So make sure you stay tuned, and we'll see you soon. Make sure you go to lovingonpurpose.com and sign up for our emails to stay connected about upcoming episodes and how to ask your questions live. Never miss an episode of The KYLO Show by subscribing to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or watch us on Loving on Purpose YouTube channel.
And don't forget, whole healthy families are going to save the world. See you next time.